Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the videos, please subscribe to the channel and like, share. Let's start today's class, that is Pedagogy of Social Sciences, with the topic School Curriculum and Resources in Social Sciences, with the subtopic From Subject-Centered to Behaviorist to Constructivist Approach to Curriculum Development. Introduction. As a student and also as a teacher, you have various experiences of classroom activities. Let us think for a while about the structure of a classroom and what goes on in the classroom. A class is a group of students nearly of same age, controlled by a teacher and accommodated within a specified place, maybe a room or an open space. Usually, the teacher in a classroom teaches a particular topic from a subject within a specified period of time. Thus, there are three key aspects of a classroom. Obviously, all of us know how the classroom setup will be. A teacher, students, and a classroom. So, here particular topic to teach in any subject in the specified period of time, there are some aspects, mainly three aspects, that is students, teacher, and a subject matter. The ultimate aim is to enable the students acquire the knowledge and understanding of the concepts taught in the classroom. You will agree that this is the simplest description of all types of classroom activities. Now, considering the three major aspects of classroom activities, there are broadly three major categories of approaches, that is teacher-centered, subject-centered, and learner-centered approaches. This is the older one. Apart from these, there are two other approaches, that is competency-based approach and constructivist approach, which are increasingly being used in recent times, particularly in primary schools. However, when the effects of discoveries and inventions became inevitable, ancient people's way of life had changed for the better. As a result, education became formal and curriculum development evolved as systematic, planned, purposeful, and progressive. Curriculum development has a broad concept because it is not only about the school, the learners, and the teachers. It is also about the development of society in general. Obviously, traditionally we have seen the different type of schools. Earlier, gurukulas, madrasas, so many missionaries were there. They were slowly, gradually, they have started with the subject matter, giving importance to the subject, and later on learner-centered they have come, and the behavior they have learned, how the learning happens with the behavioral changes they were observing. So many researches have been done so that better learning opportunities can be created. Different approaches also were there. So, this scenario we have to discuss about different approaches. What was the traditional approach? What is the contemporary approach? So, one by one we will discuss in the consecutive classes. First, I will start today's with a subject-centered approach, and in the next class we will move to behaviorist, then constructivist, then curriculum development. So, let's begin the subject-centered approach today. In the subject-centered approach, the focus is on the delivery of the subject contents by the teacher for students to acquire, that is, importance is laid on topics or concepts included in the subject, around which all the teaching and learning activities revolve. It is a common practice in most of the schools to strictly follow the syllabus and textbooks, both for teaching and learning. Subject centered itself gives us an idea, that is, everything revolves around the subject. The textbook in the subject is considered as the storehouse of all the required concepts, examples, and exercises that are required for the teaching learning process. This means that the means and methods of acquisition of the prescribed concepts may be anything. So let us consider the comments made in the National Curricular Framework 2005. Earlier we have discussed, they focused on knowledge, that is constructivist, but they have pointed out how the earlier teaching learning process was. They have given some details about it. Let's discuss in just here. This highlights the following in the context of subject centered approach. First point they have given, textbook is the only source and main source for the teacher, they are saying, in the subject center. Word by word, phrase by phrase, the matters are presented before the students, obviously. The content or subject matter of the textbook is itself a guide to the teachers to decide his or her methodology. And then insistence on the students to memorize the facts by repeated reading. This is what we need to change. Earlier it was the case, now it is not the case. Rote memory, they have, NCF also recommended no rote memory, only constructing the knowledge with the experience. Then questions given at the end of the chapter are to be asked to the students for assessment of learning. Then the students answer the questions both orally and in written form by copying from the textbook. These are all happened during our days. We used to study so many things, and at the end of the chapter so many questions there used to be, and we have to learn so many things and produce it in the examination. Then they used to ask us questions orally and also in written, copying from the textbook. We have to write so many question answers from the textbooks. They may produce their answers orally or in written form by reproducing the exact content. That is what I was discussing here. Now, what are the characteristics of subject-centered approach? Let's understand quickly. The focus is on the content. Already we have discussed content and subject matter are the focus. Hence, transaction of the textbooks in the class is be all and end all of the classroom activities. That means only the textbook, everything, and end of it. So the teacher projects himself as a model for the students as he has the mastery over the subject matter. Then the learning needs of these students are supposed to be fulfilled through the textbook only. Then real life situations are rarely taken into account while presenting the subject matters in the classroom. Only textbook reading, whatever content is given, they used to explain that content to the students and the students have to reproduce it. Then all classroom interactions are textbook centered only in this subject centered approach. There is stress on quantity oriented output rather than quality. They depend on quantity, not the quality. Then textual questions are used for evaluation which lacks variety. So only that matter they have to write. There is no creativity, there is no extra thinking, cognitive will not be there, cognitive thinking will not be there. Same thing to be produced, but all human beings are unique in their thinking and nature. One question might be given to the students. If we ask them to write in their own words, different answers will come. That is the construction of the knowledge. But here in the subject center, the content to be produced only from the textbook. So there is lots of stress if the students are asked to produce the same thing. Then textual questions are used for evaluation which lacks variety. So no variety in that, only those questions were asked. So let's conclude this topic. This approach, however, provides the learner an exposure to a plenty of content matter within a limited time. As the course is completed within the prescribed time, the learner can plan their practice exercises elaborately and can learn the subject matter thoroughly. On the flip side, the knowledge acquired by the students is only bookish. There is no novelty in teaching learning process. time is mostly utilized for memorizing and reproducing and not for meaningful learning. So there is little scope for developing questioning skill on the part of the teacher and the students, as they are expected to confine to the textual questions given at the end of each chapter. So subject centered was totally focused on bookish knowledge. There is no extra thinking of the children, no construction of knowledge based on experience, nothing. So we come to the end of this class. Please do subscribe to this channel. If you like the videos and the content, surely I will bring the best content in future. Please do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.